Hello, good morning guys. So this is my final thoughts about the K1600 after I get the bike more than half a year ago. So what I done it so far compared with the originally, I had to change the front tire. I installed a Michelin Road 6, same as I had on here on the rear, same as used on the GS, because I love this tire for dry conditions, for twisty roads, rainy conditions. I mean, about sport touring tire, I think this is the one that you should get now. I also replaced the windscreen. I installed this aftermarket one because the original one, as you know, it has a line around here, so it stays like in my line of sight, and getting on the highway I feel like turbulence a lot, especially when riding with the pillion. I have to replace the bearings in the front wheel. They were not so much damage, but it was time to replace them because they were making some noise already. And I also repaired the reverse. As you remember, it wasn't working, or it was working like randomly, and has to replace the module. It's like a chronic problem in this motorbikes, and at least until 2022. So let's go for a ride, and I will share with you what do I think about the bike, about everything overall, things that I like, things that I don't like, everything. Okay. I just replaced the engine oil yesterday. Yeah, according to the previous owner, it was replaced last time in May last year, and since then the bike was wrought 6,000 kilometers. So I decided to replace it. Normally I don't run with the same engine oil more than a year or 10,000 kilometers. So mostly of the service I do it by myself. So you also can save some money like that. Okay, another thing that I installed. I installed this quite famous devices, the carburetor, the W502. I also get a W702 for my GS. It's like a 7-inch, a little bit bigger. This is 5-inch. And I have to get an adapter, so I installed this GPS on the BMW cradle. It fits almost perfect. You can see that around the edges, the gaps of the screen, they are not exactly the same on everywhere. It has some millimeters difference, but okay, this is not like factory. This is not like factory made. This is an adapter that was made to install in here, so I don't need to make any changes on the wiring. Everything just the power pins on the BMW cradle. They have the pins like with the 12 bolts on the adapter, and they just go in there and make contact. So I don't need to do anything. Just when turn on bike, the cradle, the GPS power on, power off, the same way as the original, and everything is fine. About the device itself, even this is not a review about the carburetor. As you guys can see, I'm using Waze right now. You can use Google Maps, Apple Maps. Yeah, this is simply works fine as long as you have internet signal. The only thing that I dislike a little bit about this device, it's like the touchscreen works okay, but not so much with gloves. Even these gloves, they are like a touchscreen enabled. But I mean, comparing with the Garmin XT that I have, the Garmin works perfect. Even with rainy conditions and stuff like that, the Garmin works so much better. Like, let me try a little bit of traffic jam. So if you want to see, I want to press a little bit hard. Sometimes it works, but you have to press it like really hard. Okay, now let's talk about the bike. Okay, basically since I bought this bike I made like 5,300 kilometers. I'm still trying to figure out how I reset the odometer, I mean the passional odometer. I still did not figure out about that one. If you guys know, just let me know how you do that. And I make quite some trips for it, especially this winter, because this winter it was like and still is now. You guys can see that the weather still a little bit bad. It's still very cloudy, very heavy, and I think next week is going to rain. But it was a quite raining winter, so I didn't drive the bike as much as I wanted, but I still make like 5,300 since since late November. That's when I get this bike, and I make some long, I mean not very long, but a couple of long trips on the highway. I just make like 2 weeks ago a 3-day trip with some friends around twisty roads, like mountain roads, like not highways, not fast tracks, not everything like that, just mountain roads with a lot of twisties and stuff like that. It was like 800 kilometers in a row in 3 days, just with the roads like that. And what I think about this bike, so when you go on a highway, this is perfect. I mean, the smoothness of the engine, even the power on the engine, the suspension, the balance, the riding position, all the cover that I get if I push this windscreen up, because you see it's still a lot, and especially when it rains, I almost don't get any wet. Basically for me, for highway, this bike is perfect. Yeah, it runs really good, and you can drive like I don't know, 3-4 hours in a row non-stop. You don't get tired. Let's go. It's like it's like you have a Mercedes S-Class or something like that to make long trips on the highway. Fuel consumption, normally I don't go over 120. Usually I stick to the speed limits wherever I go by bike or by car or whatever, but normally around 120. I always ride with my wife on the back, so this gets around 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers. It's not so bad comparing especially you consider the size of the engine, the weight of the bike, because this bike, like fully loaded, I think it's around 350 kilos, so it's really heavy. So I don't think a consumption like that is that bad. When you go on the twisty road, on the mountain roads, you always like shift up and down. You don't need to shift up and down too much on this bike, because even the engine like a little bit lower than the current revolutions, it can you don't feel any vibration at all, so you can use like even a high gear when the cornering. It just depends how much power you went on the corner exit, but in a normal condition you can you don't need to shift up and down a lot like in a twisty road. And that's a situation that surprised me a little bit, because this bike, even considering the weight, it handles really good on a twisty road, but really good. I mean, I don't go as fast as I can go with the GS. The GS much better, but it handles very well. And when I make this trip, like a 3-day trip, I get the fuel consumption like I think below 5 liters per 100 kilometers, and I was with my wife on the bike. I had the bike fully loaded because it was a 2-night out, not about me but about my wife, because she always liked to take much more than she really needs. So, and the bike handles perfect. Things that I dislike about this bike, the weight. Yeah, especially when you go on maneuvers, like low speed maneuvers, parking, something like that, you need to be really careful. Because when you're driving like I'm going right now, yeah, you feel the bike okay, moves very handily, but when you are on a stop, yeah, just a minimal mistake, you cannot hold it, you will drop it because it's really heavy. Another thing that I don't like is the reverse. Even I spend almost 400 euros to repair the reverse, but the way that it works, for you guys that you don't know, you are in a stop in neutral, you press the reverse key, it goes into reverse over there, and then for reverse you just hold the starter over here. So the thing for me is, you cannot control the speed that you reverse because you just press it. You see the engine revolutions increasing and the bike start to move, but you don't control the speed that it moves. That's why I don't like, and particularly with this bike that is very heavy. So if you make some mistake, it's very easy to lose balance and you fall. I still didn't try yet I try a little bit like in uphill, try to reverse uphill to see how's the power of the system. I've tried in I think around 5-6 degrees bank and it holds quite well, yes, but the fact you don't control the speed, I don't know, it doesn't make me feel comfortable, you know. Basically about dislikes, it's just one thing, because like the bike could have, I mean, it has this side storage, but they are not useful too much because you cannot really put like anything over there. Imagine if you want to put your cell phone, charging a cell phone like an iPhone 15 Pro Max, it doesn't fit. Especially now because I'm using CarPlay all the time, so as you know, the CarPlay drains the battery a little bit, and I can't charge it. I have to, when I wait for a take rest, to plug in and charge. So this, and even another thing, like you cannot install a tank bag on this bike, like a traditional one. I know that there are some tank bags, but the ones that have zippers and ties around the back, but the ones that have the mount over here on the fuel cap that you install it over here, you cannot. You cannot, because you see how close the steering is from the fuel cap, so it's something that I don't like too much. Okay, I'm sorry about making this review. I know it's only my second review that I made so far. It's far away from being perfect, and I'm trying to concentrate about the driving and speaking about the bike at the same time, because as you see, it's a lot of traffic, a lot of people around, so I have to try to stay focused, and sometimes I forget the things that I want to speak about. For those of you you don't know, this is the Twisty guy. This is like in every Sunday mornings, people with motorbikes, they're just gathering around here, and just people that they met, have a coffee, talk and stuff like that. So just try to find a parking now. Normally it's much more crowded than this. Yeah, today not too much people around here, so see a place to stop. Okay, I think I will just go around here, it should be fine. Whoa, nice Indian. Well, really nice. Okay, so this is it. Catch the guy every Sunday in the morning. So I hope you guys enjoy your rides, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Okay, and see you next time. Bye bye.